Every day, from the moment you rise to the time you rest your head, your mind is listening to you. It does not sleep. It does not judge. It simply receives. Your thoughts, your words, your self-talk, all of it becomes instruction. Your brain is not questioning whether you speak truth or fiction. It simply takes what you give it and turns that into your reality. If you tell it that you are weak, it believes you. If you tell it that you are strong, capable, worthy, and destined for greatness, it believes that too. The question then is not whether your thoughts matter. The question is, what are you telling yourself? Most people wander through life unconscious of the power they carry within their own minds. They speak words of defeat and wonder why success feels so far away. They dwell in limitations and ask why their life never expands. But let me tell you something powerful. Your brain becomes what you feed it. Your life becomes what you repeatedly affirm. Not in some magical, mysterious way, but in the plain, psychological truth that what you repeat is what you believe, and what you believe is what you act upon. It starts from within. It always has. You see, the great truth about the human mind is this: it is programmable. Like a garden, it will grow whatever is planted. Plant weeds, and weeds will grow. Plant strong, empowering beliefs, and watch how quickly your circumstances begin to change. The affirmations you repeat daily become the blueprint for your habits, your decisions, and eventually your destiny. This is not just inspiration. This is how psychology works. This is how your identity is formed. It is how success is born, from repeated thoughts, spoken with belief, acted upon with conviction. I've spoken with countless people who ask me, how do I change my life? How do I attract success, joy, confidence, abundance? And I always begin by asking, what do you say to yourself when no one is around? What is your inner language? Is it supportive or self-defeating? Because I promise you, no matter what you wish for, if your self-talk contradicts your desires, the mind will obey the language, not the longing. You cannot wish for success and constantly affirm that you're not good enough. You cannot desire love and constantly tell yourself you're unworthy. The mind will always side with the louder voice, and often that voice is your own. But here's the good news. That voice can be trained. Just as a weak muscle can become strong, so too can a mind trained in fear be reshaped into a mind of confidence and clarity. And that training begins with daily affirmations. Simple, powerful, repeated. You must speak to yourself as if the future you desire is already happening. You must speak as if your goals are not just possible, but inevitable. You must declare the version of yourself you wish to become, and you must do it with consistency and emotion. This is not a one-time thing. This is daily work. This is internal conditioning. When you rise each morning before the world places its expectations on you, you must speak to yourself. You must say, I am capable. I am focused. I am becoming stronger every day. I have within me everything I need to succeed. My past does not define me. My present focus does. My goals are aligned with my values, and I walk in confidence because I know who I am. These affirmations may seem simple, but never mistake simplicity for weakness. The most powerful tools in the world are often the most basic because they work. You must also understand this. Repetition is key. The mind learns through repetition, not occasional effort. If you only tell yourself something once, it is unlikely to take root. But say it every day, with emotion, with belief, and you begin to rewire the very structure of your thinking. The neural pathways in your brain, the habits of thought that guide your behavior, they begin to shift. And once they shift, your actions change. And when your actions change, your results begin to shift as well. This is the formula, not magic, mindset. Think back to the voices you heard growing up. Were they empowering or limiting, encouraging or critical? Most of us absorbed beliefs not because they were true, but because they were repeated. You may still be carrying those echoes today. But understand this, just as you once learned to doubt yourself, you can now learn to believe in yourself. Just as you once internalized fear, you can now install faith. It begins by choosing your words with intention. It begins by speaking not what is, but what can be. Speak the future, not the failure. I want you to see this clearly. Your brain does not care whether you speak the truth. It cares whether you speak consistently. The mind does not analyze whether your affirmation is accurate. It only knows what it hears most often. That's why you must stop speaking about limitations and start affirming expansion. Stop rehearsing your flaws and start repeating your strengths. Stop calling yourself unlucky and start declaring your success. Every time you speak, you cast a vote for the person you are becoming. Speak wisely. You must become your own greatest supporter, not in arrogance, but in truth, not in ego, but in awareness. Because no one else walks with you through every moment. No one else hears your thoughts as constantly as you do. If you are not cheering yourself on, who will? If you are not encouraging yourself to grow, who will? You are with you forever. And your future depends on the language you begin using today. Your mind will believe what you tell it, so begin telling it the right story. The right affirmations, said with conviction, can transform everything. They realign your perception, they sharpen your focus, they energize your actions. Affirmations are not fluffy sentences. They are mental frameworks that, once installed, become the operating system of your behavior. Say it again and again. I am enough. I am growing. I am worthy. I am destined for purpose. My voice matters. My vision is clear. I act with courage. I attract opportunity. I walk in gratitude. These are not just words. They are signals sent from your voice to your brain and from your brain to your future. Every word you speak into your own mind is a seed. Some grow into beautiful trees of strength, resilience, and clarity. Others become weeds of doubt, fear, and frustration. And here's the truth many people miss. Your subconscious mind does not filter what you plant. It does not say, this seed is good, that one is bad. No, it simply takes what you give it and begins growing. So you must choose your words with care. You must become a wise gardener of your inner life, because what you plant today will bloom tomorrow, whether you like it or not. People often underestimate the power of their inner voice. They think it's just background noise, but it isn't. It's a script, a programming code. It's what determines how you respond to life, how you interpret setbacks, how you carry yourself in front of others. And that script is being written every single day by the language you use when you're talking to yourself. If you call yourself stupid when you make a mistake, your brain registers that as a fact. If you tell yourself you're learning and growing, even through the error, your brain also accepts that. What you say becomes your internal truth. That is why you must begin each day with words of empowerment. Speak into yourself before the world has a chance to speak over you, because if you don't, the world will gladly write your script for you, and often it won't be in your favor. The news, the critics, the cynics, the doubters, they all want to plant their seeds in your soil. And if your own words are not louder, stronger, and more persistent, you may begin to believe what was never yours to accept. That's how people give away their power. Not in a single moment, but in thousands of quiet, subtle affirmations of limitation. So you must make a commitment, a real, daily, non-negotiable commitment to speak life into your own spirit. You must stand in front of your mirror, look yourself in the eyes, and say things like, I am proud of who I am becoming. I choose discipline over distraction. Every day, in every way, I am getting better. And when you say it, don't just say it flatly. Speak it with energy. Speak it like you mean it, because the brain learns best through repetition. Yes, but it also learns through emotion. When you say something with feeling, you amplify its effect. There is a reason people who affirm their goals consistently tend to reach them more often. It's not because affirmations magically create success. It's because they mentally prepare you to act. They shift your identity. When you say something often enough with conviction, your brain begins to treat it as who you are. And once that identity takes root, your actions naturally follow. A person who says, I am confident repeatedly, even if they feel unsure at first, eventually begins to stand taller, speak clearer, and take bigger risks. The words build the belief. The belief drives the behavior, and the behavior builds the life. It's also important to remember this. Affirmations are not only about motivation, they are about alignment. When your words align with your values, your energy becomes focused. When your words align with your goals, your direction becomes clear. When your words align with your purpose, your power becomes unstoppable. That's why you must stop speaking about what you fear and start speaking about what you want to create. Your words are not just commentary, they are commands. They are instructions to your mind, telling it where to look, what to notice, and how to act. And understand this too, affirmations are not lies. They are declarations of intention. They are not denials of reality. They are choices to focus on possibility. If you are broke, saying, "I am financially free," is not lying. It's aligning your focus with where you are going, not where you are stuck. The mind needs a destination. Affirmations give it that. They create a psychological map that leads you out of confusion and into clarity. So don't be afraid to speak big. Don't be afraid to affirm success, even if you haven't seen it yet. That's how success starts, with belief. You will meet resistance. You will hear a voice inside you that says, "This is silly, this isn't working, this isn't true." That voice is not your truth, it is your past. It is the echo of an old version of you that no longer serves your future. And every time you affirm your new identity, you silence that voice a little more. Over time, it gets quieter. Over time, the affirming voice becomes the dominant one. And when that happens, when your mind truly begins to believe the story you're telling, it starts acting in full alignment with it. So be patient. This isn't overnight work. This is daily inner training. This is the mental gym. Affirmations are like reps for the soul. You repeat, you strengthen. You struggle, you push forward. Some days you'll feel powerful, other days you'll feel tired. But you keep going, because every time you speak a truth that empowers you, even if you don't feel it yet, you're planting seeds that will one day bloom into strength, peace, purpose, and achievement. It's coming, it's already on the way, but you must keep planting. And let me say this, your brain is not your enemy. It is not working against you. It is simply following the orders it's given. If you give it fear, it will operate in protection mode. If you give it courage, it will operate in pursuit mode. That's the difference. The brain isn't trying to sabotage your success. It's trying to keep you safe based on the instructions it receives. So, change the instructions. Speak new words, build new beliefs, program a new pattern. When you do this every day, even for just a few minutes in the morning and evening, something remarkable begins to happen. You begin to feel different. Your energy changes, your confidence grows. You become calmer under pressure, more optimistic in hard times, more resilient in failure, because your mind is no longer filled with chaos, it is filled with clarity. Not because life got easier, but because your inner world got stronger. And it all begins with what you say to yourself. Speak this truth now and say it often. I am the author of my thoughts. I am the designer of my destiny. I choose to speak in alignment with my goals, my purpose, and my highest potential. I do not speak defeat because I am not defeated. I do not speak fear because I walk in courage. I speak life. I speak progress. I speak victory. And my brain listens. My mind receives. My life follows. One of the greatest truths you will ever learn is this: identity is not fixed. It is not stamped on your birth certificate. It is not permanently branded in your past. Identity is fluid. It can be reshaped. It is formed and reformed every single day by the words you use and the thoughts you repeat. That is the foundation of transformation. You do not change by force. You change by repetition. What you do often becomes what you believe. What you believe often becomes who you are, and who you are begins to shape every action that follows. Too many people walk around trapped in an outdated identity. They say things like, "I've always been this way," or "This is just who I am." And because they speak it so often, it becomes true, whether or not it's accurate. The brain simply follows the most repeated pattern. It builds a home in familiarity, and if you consistently tell yourself that you're not smart enough, or not good with money, or not confident in social settings, your brain will make those patterns real. But here's the miracle. You can choose a new pattern today, and the first step is to speak it into being. Let us say this together. I am not my past. I am not my failures. I am not the voice of old beliefs. I am who I decide to be. And I decide now to become someone better, someone wiser, someone more capable and aligned. These are not just poetic words. They are bricks in the foundation of your new identity, and if you say them every single day, they begin to feel familiar. And once they feel familiar, your mind accepts them. And once your mind accepts them, your behavior shifts. Think of any person you admire, someone who radiates confidence, who walks in success, who lives with purpose. They did not simply wake up one day with that identity handed to them. No, they shaped it. They rehearsed it. They affirmed it even when they doubted it. Behind every confident person is a history of daily self-talk that told them they could do it, even when they weren't sure. That's what you must do now. Speak who you want to be until it no longer feels like a stretch, until it simply feels like you. This is why it is so critical that you speak to yourself as the person you are becoming, not the person you are trying to escape. If you want to stop being insecure, don't say, "I'm not insecure anymore." Say, "I am confident in who I am." If you want to stop being overwhelmed, don't say, "I'm not stressed." Say, "I am calm, centered, and in control." Always frame your affirmations in the positive, because your mind responds to imagery and direction. It needs a clear picture of where to go, not just where to avoid. Many people fall into the trap of negative reinforcement. They say things like, "I won't fail again," or "I'm not going to be weak anymore." But in doing so, they keep replaying the very image they're trying to escape. The brain hears fail, weak, and locks into those pictures. That's why it's so important to focus on what you do want. I succeed with grace. I am strong and composed. I trust myself more every day. These are clear, focused, and forward-facing, and they send the right signals to your mind. Now, repetition is the key that unlocks the power of these words. Saying it once is not enough. Your old identity was built over years of repetition through teachers, parents, friends, media, and your own voice. So to overwrite that programming, you need consistent input. Speak your affirmations morning and night. Say them out loud. Write them down. Whisper them when you feel doubt. Repeat them when you face resistance. The more you say it, the more your mind accepts it. The more your mind accepts it, the more your actions will align with it. You are not waiting on permission. You are not waiting on some perfect moment of motivation. You are not waiting on someone else to validate you. Your transformation begins the moment you speak it. The moment you say, "This is who I am now," that moment shifts everything. And yes, it may feel strange at first. Yes, your inner critic might try to fight it. But keep going. Keep speaking. Keep aligning your language with your highest self. The shift will come. It always does when you're consistent. I want you to imagine yourself 5 years from now. You're standing taller. You're speaking with clarity. You're living with purpose. You've overcome the doubts that used to hold you back. That version of you is not a fantasy. It is a future identity being built right now by the words you speak today. Every time you say, "I am powerful," you move closer to that person. Every time you say, "I attract opportunities," you reshape your vision. Every time you say, "I am worthy," you chip away at the lies that try to tell you otherwise. Let's be very clear. This is your responsibility. No one can affirm you the way you must affirm yourself. Others can encourage you, yes, but no voice will ever matter more than your own, because your voice is the one you hear most often. It is the one that lives in the quiet moments. It is the one that echoes through your decisions, your doubts, your dreams. So make it a voice of strength. Make it a voice of truth. Make it a voice of hope, certainty, and belief. Because your brain believes what you tell it, and your life follows that belief. Here is your power phrase for today. I am becoming the person I was always meant to be. My words create my future. My voice programs my mind. I speak strength, success, clarity, and peace. I let go of the past, and I walk forward in faith. I am ready. I am rising, I am real, and my brain believes every word I say, so I speak with intention. Your life does not begin with your circumstances. It begins with your thinking. Everything you touch, every path you take, every door that opens or closes, starts in your mind first. Before any action comes a thought, and before any decision comes the voice behind that thought, the one that either lifts you up or drags you down. That voice is not a passive companion. It is the architect of your reality. It draws the lines on the blueprint of your life. It decides what you see as possible, what you believe about yourself, and how high you dare to reach. What you see on the outside is the mirror of what is spoken on the inside. If your inner dialogue is filled with encouragement, self-respect, and positive direction, then your actions will carry that same energy. But if your self-talk is poisoned with doubt, comparison, shame, or fear, then even the best opportunities will appear out of reach. You can have talent, intelligence, and potential, but if your inner voice constantly tears you down, none of it will be activated. That's why you must protect your inner dialogue with everything you have. You cannot speak words of weakness and expect to live a life of strength. You cannot rehearse failure and expect to walk in success. And you cannot continually remind yourself of what's missing and expect to live in gratitude and abundance. The brain listens to your patterns, it follows your cues. Speak fear and it narrows your vision. Speak hope and it widens your horizon. The chemistry of your brain literally changes based on how you talk to yourself. This is not theory, it is science. And it's the reason your next breakthrough must begin with a breakthrough in language. Begin every day with this simple truth. Today, I will speak to myself with kindness, with power, and with purpose. Today, I will not curse my progress. I will not mock my pace. I will not compare my chapter to someone else's highlight reel. Instead, I will affirm my growth. I will honor my struggle. I will bless my journey, because everything I say to myself, my brain absorbs and my body follows. If I say, I am tired, I get weaker. If I say, I am unstoppable, I grow stronger. Words don't just describe reality, they create it. Your internal language is the soil in which your future is planted. If your soil is negative and critical, your growth will be slow and strained. But if your soil is rich with belief, determination, and joy, then the seeds of your dreams will flourish. You don't need perfect conditions. You don't need everyone's approval. You need one thing: an inner environment that supports your highest potential. And that begins with how you speak to yourself when no one else is listening. Some people wait for motivation to strike before they speak positively. They wait until they feel confident to affirm confidence. But that's backwards. Your words are not a reward for how you feel. They are the tools that change how you feel. Speak energy when you feel low. Speak confidence when you feel unsure. Speak success when the odds look impossible. Why? Because that's how you flip the script. That's how you rise above emotion and condition your mind to lead your body, not follow it. Motivation doesn't create language. Language creates motivation. The problem is many of us learned the wrong script early in life. We heard voices that said we were not enough, not smart enough, not attractive enough, not capable enough. And over time, those voices became our own. They sounded like us, so we believed them. But here's the good news: you can rewrite that script. You can dismantle the old words and replace them with truth. You can speak power into places where fear once lived. And every time you do, your brain rewires a little more. Every time you affirm your strength, you weaken the grip of insecurity. So speak these words right now. I am not broken. I am becoming. I am not behind. I am exactly where I need to be. I am not afraid. I am learning to trust the process. Every day, my mind becomes stronger. Every moment, my heart becomes wiser. I speak with purpose. I live with intention. My words guide my path, and my path reflects my power. This is my truth, and I repeat it until it becomes my foundation. Affirmations are not about pretending that everything is perfect. They are about refusing to let negativity rule your life. They are the decision to speak life even when life is hard. They are the practice of turning inward when the outside world feels chaotic. They are the habit of declaring who you are, especially when the world forgets to remind you. And make no mistake, your brain will believe you, especially if you are consistent. Let's take this deeper. When you face a challenge, how do you speak? Do you say, I always mess this up? Or do you say, I'm learning how to handle this better each time? When you fall short of a goal, do you say, I failed again? Or do you say, this is part of my journey and I will rise stronger? These moments matter more than you think. Your brain records them. Your future self depends on them. You must catch yourself in those quiet moments and flip the narrative. Speak growth, speak vision, speak healing. Your mind is listening. In every setback, you can either bury yourself in blame or lift yourself with belief. The words you use become your shovel or your ladder. If you speak with compassion, you rise. If you speak with cruelty, you sink. The choice is yours. And it is not just a one-time decision, it is a daily practice. Just like you brush your teeth, you must cleanse your mind. Just like you eat to nourish your body, you must speak to nourish your spirit. That is how champions are built, from the inside out. So from this day forward, make a vow. I will speak with the voice of the person I am becoming. I will remind myself of who I am when I feel lost. I will declare my future as if it is already unfolding. I will replace fear with faith, comparison with confidence, and shame with strength, and I will not stop, because my brain believes what I tell it, and I am telling it a story of greatness. You were not born with doubt. You were taught to doubt. You were not born believing you were limited. Somewhere along the way, the voices of others, parents, peers, the world, planted seeds of hesitation, and day after day, those seeds grew into walls. But just as your past was shaped by repetition, your future can be reshaped with intention. That is what affirmations are, a new curriculum for the mind, a decision to replace the lies of limitation with the truth of potential. Your words are not decoration, they are direction. And if you want to walk in success, you must speak the language of success. This does not mean shouting to the world. This means speaking to yourself with the clarity and conviction of someone who knows who they are becoming. Say it even if your voice shakes. Say it even when no one else does. Say it until your brain begins to believe it without hesitation. That is the work. That is the power. That is how you rewire the mind from survival to success, from confusion to certainty, from fear to faith. Understand this. Your brain is constantly rewiring itself. It is not fixed. It is plastic. It adapts to the signals it receives. The more you repeat empowering language, the stronger those neural pathways become. The more you affirm strength, the more automatic that belief becomes. Eventually, the brain stops questioning it. Eventually, it starts acting from it. That's when confidence becomes natural. That's when boldness no longer feels forced. That's when discipline becomes part of your rhythm and vision becomes part of your daily mindset. It doesn't happen overnight. No transformation does. But with every repetition, your mind becomes more fluent in the language of self-belief. Think of it like learning a new language. At first, it feels awkward, uncomfortable, even unnatural. But the more you practice, the more fluid it becomes. Eventually, it becomes your native tongue. You don't have to force it anymore. You live in it, and that's the goal. To make confidence your default. To make clarity your baseline. To make growth your identity. You do this through daily, repeated, intentional affirmation. Now let's talk about how to construct affirmations that actually work. It's not just about saying, I am great and expecting magic. The best affirmations are specific, present tense, emotionally resonant, and aligned with your values. You don't say, I want to be confident. You say, I am confident in who I am. You don't say, I wish I had purpose. You say, I am living my purpose with energy and focus. Your brain responds to immediacy. Speak as if it's already true, not because you're faking it, but because you're framing it. And remember, you're not trying to trick your brain, you're trying to train it. There is a difference. You're not lying to yourself, you are rehearsing truth until it becomes your norm. When you say, I am healthy, you are not ignoring current struggles, you are reminding your body and mind of where you are headed. When you say, I am disciplined, you are not ignoring past distractions, you are activating your intention to stay focused today. Your words are not meant to deny your current situation, they are meant to command your future direction. Let's go deeper. Every time you speak an affirmation, you are telling your brain what to look for. If you say, I attract opportunity, your brain begins scanning for openings, relationships, and ideas that match that statement. If you say, I always fail, your brain focuses on evidence to support that claim. You are, in effect, programming your own mental filters, and those filters determine what you notice, what you act on, and what you ignore. That is why your language matters so much. It is not fluff, it is function. So, create affirmations that align with the life you want to build. Say them daily, say them slowly, say them with emotion. Write them down, say them while looking at your reflection. Say them when you wake up, and before you fall asleep. These are the windows when the subconscious mind is most open, most impressionable. In those moments, you have the power to plant seeds that will grow into habits, decisions, and outcomes that change everything. Do not waste those moments with worry. Use them to rewire. Here are examples to guide you. I am focused and consistent. I am courageous, even when it feels hard. I trust the process of growth. I let go of the past and step fully into my purpose. I believe in my ability to figure things out. I am surrounded by support. I learn quickly. I create value. I speak with calm conviction. I am worthy of the success I seek. These are not fantasies. These are frames, and you must use them to reshape the picture in your mind. And as you speak these truths, you may notice something: resistance. The old voice will try to argue. It may whisper, "This isn't you, you're faking, you'll never be that." That is the voice of your old programming trying to protect its control. But hear this, it will fade. It always does. As the new voice becomes stronger, the old one loses its grip. Just like light removes darkness, truth removes doubt. But you must keep speaking. You must keep choosing, because the moment you stop, the old voice returns, and your mind will follow whichever voice you feed. So feed it the voice of strength. Feed it the voice of clarity. Speak with the voice of the future you, the version of yourself who walks tall, acts boldly, loves deeply, and creates impact. Speak in alignment with that image, and do it every single day. That's how you train your brain. That's how you rewire your world. That's how you rise not once, but again and again, until greatness is no longer a wish, it is a way of life. It's a quiet moment, just you and your thoughts. No applause, no audience, no one around to cheer or challenge, just silence. And in that silence, you face your greatest influence, the voice inside your head. This voice will either guide you or guard you, strengthen you or scare you, lift you or limit you. The difference? What you choose to speak into that silence. Every word matters. Because when you speak, even in solitude, your brain listens. And once your brain listens, it begins to shape your perception of who you are. You may not notice it, but every time you say, "I can't," "I'm not ready," or "I don't know how," you plant a seed of resistance. Your brain starts building fences where doors used to be, and over time those fences become walls. But when you say, "I am learning," "I can figure this out," or "I grow stronger every day," your mind clears those walls and the horizon opens. Language is not just expression, it's direction. It tells the brain what kind of future to prepare for. And here's the most empowering truth. You do not need to feel strong to speak strength. You do not need to be free of fear to speak courage. You do not need to have all the answers to declare progress. Speaking a better future is not about faking perfection. It's about choosing growth over limitation, even when it's uncomfortable. And the more you speak that choice, the more your brain reshapes itself around it. Not all at once, but surely and steadily. That's the law of neuroplasticity, and you hold the reins. Imagine a painter standing before a blank canvas. Each stroke of the brush adds color, depth, and meaning. Now realize this. Your words are those strokes. Every sentence adds a layer to the portrait of who you believe you are. Will it be a masterpiece of confidence, peace, and purpose, or will it be a shadowed image filled with doubt and regret? The brush is in your hand. The choice is yours, and it begins with how you speak to yourself in the quiet hours when no one else is listening. You do not need external proof to speak internal power. The world often asks, "Who do you think you are?" But your answer must come from within, not from reaction. Say it now. I am not a reflection of my past. I am a vision of my becoming. I am not the sum of my mistakes. I am the seed of new beginnings. I am worthy. I am growing. I am enough. These words are not just to feel better. They are to become better. Understand this. Your subconscious mind is always open. It absorbs your language, whether you're joking, venting, or casually repeating old lines. If you constantly speak of stress, lack, fatigue, or failure, even in jest, your brain stores those impressions. Over time, those impressions become beliefs, and those beliefs become behaviors. That's why the most successful people are often the most intentional speakers. They don't waste words. They don't casually affirm struggle. They speak with purpose because they know their brain is always listening. Let's go deeper. When you wake up and say, "Today's going to be a long day," you're not predicting the future, you're programming it. When you say, "I'm so unlucky," you're not just venting, you're wiring your brain to find more evidence of bad luck. When you declare, "Things never go right for me," your mind will begin filtering the world to match that belief. That's the power of spoken word. It filters your perception, and perception is the gateway to reality. But when you rise and say, "Today I am energized, focused, and moving forward," your brain leans toward productivity. When you affirm, "Good things are coming to me," your attention shifts to possibilities. When you say, "I can handle whatever comes," your brain starts scanning for solutions instead of problems. These aren't fantasies, they are neurocognitive cues, and you have full control over them. Start small. Begin by noticing the words you use when you talk about yourself. Eliminate casual negativity. Replace it with purposeful truth. Speak less about what drains you and more about what drives you. Speak less about how tired you are and more about how grateful you are to be alive, to have another shot, to grow again today. Gratitude isn't a feeling, it's a habit of language. And the more you speak it, the more you see it. You can retrain your entire mental world by changing how you speak during everyday moments. When something goes wrong, instead of saying, "I knew this would happen," say, "There's something valuable I can learn here." When faced with a challenge, instead of, "This is too much," say, "I've handled hard things before, and I'll do it again." Your affirmations don't have to be poetic. They just have to be true, constructive, and repeated. And repetition is where the change locks in. One affirmation said once is a whisper, but that same affirmation spoken daily with conviction becomes a roar. The brain thrives on repetition. It uses repetition to determine what's important. That's why affirmations must be daily, not just when you feel good, especially when you don't, especially when life gets loud and your thoughts begin to spiral. That's when your voice must rise above the noise and say, "I am in control, I am grounded, I will not quit, I am still here, and I am still rising." Let this be your inner commitment. I will not let careless words build my reality. I will not let old patterns define new beginnings. I will speak the truth I want to live. I will speak with direction, with faith, with fire. My mind is listening, my spirit is responding, and my future is forming around the words I choose today. You were given a voice, not just to communicate with others, but to command your own direction. Most people speak reactively. They speak about what they see. They narrate what they don't like. They echo what has already happened. But few understand that your voice was meant to declare what will be, to set the tone, to pave the road ahead. What you say becomes what you see, not immediately, but inevitably. Because your voice is a guide, and your mind follows it with absolute loyalty. That is why vision begins not with sight, but with speech. You must speak your future long before you see the results. Speak strength when you feel weak. Speak progress when you feel stuck. Speak hope when the world looks hopeless. Your words are not meant to reflect your current state. They're meant to redirect it. You are not a reporter of life. You are the author of it. You are not here to passively describe what is. You are here to create what will be. And every great creation begins with language. Most people never speak life into their goals because they are waiting to feel motivated. But your voice is not a reaction to your feelings. It is the ignition for your feelings. You must speak first. You must affirm first. The fire comes after. If you wait for confidence, it will rarely come. But if you speak it daily, even when your hands shake, you begin to feel it rise. That is how belief is built, not in the moments of certainty, but in the moments of conscious decision. Let's be clear. You do not need permission to speak your truth. You do not need applause to validate your direction. You need only the will to choose better words. Words that lift, empower, ignite, and center you. Words that build bridges where others see cliffs. Words that awaken the sleeping part of you that knows you were born for more. You were not created to repeat someone else's doubts. You were not designed to inherit the fear of the world. You were born with a unique calling, and your words are the compass that keeps you aligned with it. Say this: I choose my words with power and purpose. I speak to myself with the care of a sculptor shaping stone. I affirm not what is easy, but what is necessary. I affirm not just what I feel, but what I believe, and my belief grows stronger every time I speak it aloud. My vision sharpens when I say it, write it, repeat it. My actions follow my voice. My future is molded by my daily affirmation. You must understand that your subconscious mind does not argue with your words. It does not debate you. It receives, stores, and obeys. It is loyal beyond reason. If you say, I'm terrible with money, your mind builds that reality into your daily habits. If you say, I'm not good enough, your mind highlights moments that prove that statement. But if you change the phrase to, I am learning to build wealth, your brain starts searching for strategies. If you say, I am growing into my greatness, your mind becomes a magnet for growth. This is how your voice becomes your internal command system. When you learn to use your voice to construct your inner world, your outer world eventually aligns. Because the mind does not just sit idly with new information, it acts. It builds patterns. It finds support. It looks for opportunity. All of it starts with what you've trained it to expect. You don't need to yell. You don't need to recite 1,000 things. But you do need consistency. You need to speak with clarity. You need to wake up every morning and remind yourself who you are before the world tries to tell you otherwise. Start your day with this: I am whole. I am aligned with purpose. I am calm under pressure. I am the kind of person who finds solutions. I show up with love, with focus, with fire. My past is not my prison, it is my preparation. Every day I step into a higher version of myself. I do not wait for life to change, I choose to change it from within. These are not empty declarations, they are living codes. They inform the mind, they program the identity, they pave the road before your feet touch it. And when you speak these truths, understand that you are not ignoring reality, you are rewriting it. Affirmations are not delusions, they are designs. You are building a stronger inner world so that when the outer world challenges you, you do not crumble, you do not break. You stand in the power of your voice and you say, I was made for this. I am becoming stronger every time I choose to believe. This is the hidden power of consistent affirmation. It becomes a shield and a sword. Every great leader, every innovator, every champion, they all had moments of fear, but what separated them was their decision to speak truth in the face of that fear. They reminded themselves of their mission. They declared their intention out loud, and that voice echoed louder than the doubt. That voice became the compass when the path was unclear, and eventually that voice changed how they walked, how they worked, and how you have the same power. It's not locked away, it lives on the tip of your tongue. So say this again and again. I speak with clarity and conviction. My voice is my weapon and my wisdom. I do not wait for belief, I create it. I do not wait for the world to believe in me, I believe in myself. And that belief grows stronger every time I choose to speak it. My mind follows my words, and my life follows my mind. Everything you want to create already exists as a possibility. Success, clarity, confidence, peace, it's all available to you. But possibility must be converted into reality, and that conversion begins with thought, crystallized through language and brought into action. Thought is the blueprint, language is the command, action is the construction. But if you skip the middle, if you fail to speak your vision into the world, you leave the blueprint gathering dust, untouched, unexplored, unbuilt. Your words are the bridge between what you imagine and what you experience. Every time you speak your intention aloud, your brain treats that statement as a plan. It starts seeking evidence. It tunes your perception to match your direction. This is why clarity begins with speaking, not just thinking. Thoughts are powerful, yes, but they float. Words ground them. When you say something out loud, you make it tangible. You give it structure, you hold yourself accountable to it. When you wake up and say, "Today I create progress," that phrase doesn't just fade into the air. It sharpens your awareness. Suddenly your brain filters distractions more sharply. It notices opportunities you might otherwise ignore, and it nudges you to act in ways that align with that spoken decision. That's how affirmations change lives, not by magic, but by altering the internal system that governs what you do and how you do it. Your life becomes a reflection of what you consistently declare. You must treat affirmations like the steering wheel of your reality. When you feel tired, speak energy. When you feel lost, speak clarity. When you feel defeated, speak victory. Not to deny how you feel, but to direct where you're going. Feelings are visitors, words are builders, and builders shape futures. Speak with intention, and your emotions will follow your leadership. That is self-mastery, not suppressing emotion, but guiding it. Many people speak unconsciously. They say things like, "I'm always overwhelmed, I can't do this," or "things never work out for me." And then they wonder why those patterns persist. But your brain doesn't distinguish between jokes, habits, or truth. It listens to repetition. It internalizes what is said often. And if you repeat anything enough, positive or negative, it will become your mental baseline. That's why you must speak with awareness. Speak only what you're willing to live. Affirmations should not be casual or mechanical. They should be heartfelt, specific, and emotionally resonant. Don't just say, "I am confident." Say, "I speak with confidence and grace, even when I'm nervous." Don't just say, "I'm successful." Say, "I build success with discipline, clarity, and faith every day." The more real it feels, the more effective it becomes. Your mind needs emotional fuel to solidify a belief. When you attach emotion to your words, they stick. They root deeper. It's not just what you say, it's how you say it. Stand tall. Look into your own eyes. Breathe deeply. Speak your affirmations like you mean them. You don't need to shout. You need to believe. And belief is built with tone, with energy, with repetition. Speak like someone whose words matter, because they do. Speak like someone who is becoming, because you are. Every affirmation is a rehearsal for your higher self. Let's imagine your brain as a room filled with switches. Every switch corresponds to a trait: confidence, calmness, focus, creativity. When you speak certain words, you flip those switches on. When you speak negative, defeated language, you turn them off. Most people live with their best switches permanently dimmed, not because they're incapable, but because they never learned how to activate them. Your affirmations are the hand that reaches for those switches. They light up what's already inside you. You don't need to invent greatness, you just need to awaken it. And you do that by choosing your words with devotion. Say this now: "I am not here to survive, I am here to thrive. I am not a victim of chance, I am the architect of change. I do not speak my fears, I speak my faith. Every day my voice becomes stronger, my thoughts become clearer, and my life becomes richer. I declare what I desire, and I move in the direction of my declaration." You must also be willing to evolve your affirmations over time. As you grow, your vision grows. The affirmations that once served you may no longer challenge you. That's a good sign. It means your baseline has risen. What once felt like a stretch now feels like home. So don't be afraid to reach higher with your words. Don't be afraid to affirm what once felt impossible. That's how you expand. That's how you level up. Let your affirmations evolve into declarations. Let your declarations evolve into identity, and let your identity evolve into action. This is how transformation happens, not with one sentence, but with daily, intentional speech that reshapes your inner world. The more you speak truth, the more you believe it. The more you believe it, the more you become the person you've been speaking of all along. Speak this aloud and anchor it within. I rise through repetition. I advance through affirmation. I change through conscious language. I do not wait, I declare. I do not hope, I command. My words shape my world, and my world bends to the consistency of my voice. My brain believes what I tell it, and I tell it that greatness is not coming, it is already unfolding. Your success does not begin with talent. It does not begin with opportunity. It begins with belief. And belief is not something you stumble into, it is something you choose, again and again, day after day. Belief is a discipline. It's not a moment of inspiration, it's a lifestyle. Just like you nourish your body with food, you must nourish your mind with belief. Just like you train your muscles with repetition, you must train your thinking with affirmation. Belief is the foundation of all achievement, and your words are the tools that build it. So many people wonder why their dreams don't manifest, why their habits don't stick, why their goals feel distant. And when you trace it back, you'll find that the root of the struggle is this. They do not speak belief into their lives, they speak hesitation. They speak fear. They speak more about obstacles than they do about outcomes. And the mind listens. It stores those words, and it follows the path you've outlined with your own voice. This is why affirmations matter. This is why your voice matters. You are not waiting for something outside of you to change your life. You are shaping it from the inside with every word you speak. The world responds not just to effort, but to energy, and your energy is formed by what you say to yourself when nobody's watching. Speak belief, and you radiate strength. Speak doubt, and you project uncertainty. You are your own atmosphere, and belief is the air that keeps you alive. You have to stop speaking limitations over your future. Stop rehearsing what you lack. Stop verbalizing every worry. That doesn't mean ignore your struggles. It means choose how you name them. Instead of saying, "This is too hard," say, "This is stretching me into someone stronger." Instead of saying, "I don't know what I'm doing," say, "I am learning faster every day." Your brain takes those words seriously. It adjusts, it adapts, it builds its strategy around the instructions you give it. This is not empty positivity. This is personal leadership. This is commanding the most powerful machine in existence, your mind, with intention. When you take ownership of your language, you take ownership of your life, because the two are not separate. You cannot live a powerful life with powerless words. You cannot walk in abundance while speaking from scarcity, and you cannot become someone new while affirming the same story you've always told. Let this truth settle in your heart. You are always one decision away from a different future. And that decision begins with what you say. Don't wait until the world gives you a reason to believe. Give the world a reason to notice your belief. Speak with that level of clarity. Speak with that level of fire. Declare your direction even when your knees are shaking. Say, "I am on my way," even when the road feels long. Say, "I'm making progress," even when the wins are small. Speak the language of the person you want to become, and your brain will rise to match it. Make your affirmations your foundation, not your fallback. Say them when things are going well. Say them when you feel unstoppable. Say them even when life seems to align. Why? Because that's how you stay grounded. That's how you stay intentional. Your affirmations are not just for healing, they are for sustaining. They keep your compass calibrated when distractions pull at you. They keep your soul rooted when the world tries to shake you, and they remind you, no matter how far you've come, that your voice is still the most powerful tool you possess. You must become fluent in the language of belief. It's a language that says, "I trust the process even when I don't understand it." It says, "I am not perfect, but I am progressing." It says, "What I speak today is what I will live tomorrow." And when you speak it long enough, your actions follow. Your decisions change. Your energy attracts new people, new moments, new breakthroughs. Because the language of belief opens doors, the language of doubt keeps shut. Say this with certainty. I choose to believe in myself even when the world is silent. I choose to affirm my future even when I cannot see it yet. I choose to use my voice as a tool of transformation, not hesitation. Every time I speak with belief, I make the next step clearer. Every time I affirm my power, I break another chain of the past. My brain does not wait for proof. It listens to my command. And today I command it with strength, love, and vision. There is no secret formula beyond this. What you say, you become. So speak as the highest version of yourself. Speak with joy. Speak with power. Speak as someone who knows that every word is a step. And if you choose those steps wisely, they will lead you to a life that feels like truth You have walked this entire journey with me, and now we arrive at the final truth, a truth that will follow you beyond today into every room, every challenge, every opportunity. The truth is this: your mind is a reflection of your voice. Your voice is a reflection of your belief, and your belief is the root of every transformation you will ever experience. If you speak weakness, you will feel weak. If you speak strength, you will walk in strength. And when you speak with clarity, consistency, and conviction, your life cannot help but take the shape of your words. This is your moment to choose. Not just once, not just now, but every single day going forward. You have the power to write your identity with your own voice. You are the narrator, you are the editor, you are the speaker, and what you speak becomes what you live. You are no longer a passenger in your mind, you are the captain. You are no longer reacting to old scripts, you are writing new ones. And with every repetition, you reinforce the most powerful idea you will ever carry. You are who you say you are. Do not take this lightly. The words you say today will echo tomorrow. They will be the voice your future self hears in moments of doubt. They will be the quiet courage behind your most important decisions. They will be the affirmation that keeps you grounded when the world grows loud and uncertain. Do not wait for someone else to speak greatness over your life. Speak it yourself. Do not wait for someone else to say you are worthy. Say it yourself, and say it often. That is not arrogance, it is alignment. You are not here to survive on scraps of motivation. You are here to build a mindset so strong, so grounded, so precise, that no setback can shake your sense of self. And that mindset begins with your daily language. Every word you speak, every sentence you repeat, every phrase you use to describe yourself, it all becomes your internal world. And that internal world becomes the lens through which you see everything else. The way you speak about your life determines the life you will live. So when you rise tomorrow, don't just get out of bed. Rise with a declaration. Rise with language that charges your body, commands your attention, and brings purpose to your path. Say, today I show up. Today I grow. Today I live in alignment with my higher self. When you stand in front of the mirror, don't look for flaws. Speak to the power you're building. Say, I am exactly who I need to be for the next step in my journey. And when the day challenges you, as it always will, don't speak defeat. Speak determination. Say, I am greater than this moment. I am built for this. This is the practice now. This is the ritual. This is the voice you will use from this day forward, not just when life is good, but especially when it's not. Because true power is revealed not in how you speak on the mountaintop, but in how you speak in the valley. When fear comes, speak faith. When tiredness creeps in, speak energy. When disappointment knocks, speak direction. Your voice must remain stronger than your circumstance. That is how your brain learns to follow courage over comfort. And in case you forget, and you will forget, return to this one truth. Your brain believes what you tell it. It does not wait to confirm whether you are right. It simply follows the instructions you give. That's why your affirmations must be clear, consistent, and courageous. You are not hoping for change, you are directing it. You are not wishing for growth, you are affirming it. And with each spoken word, you strengthen your identity, you deepen your purpose, and you advance your vision. Say this one final time, and say it with the full power of who you are becoming. I speak with intention, and my life follows my words. I am not afraid to declare what I desire. I am not ashamed of my growth. I am not silent about my power. Every day my voice becomes more aligned with my vision. Every affirmation is a seed. Every repetition is a root, and every root becomes a tree that bears the fruit of the life I was born to live. This is not the end, it's the beginning. From this day forward, you carry the tools. You carry the truth. You carry the voice that reshapes reality. Speak it, live it, repeat it. And watch as the life you once dreamed of begins to rise up and meet you, word by word, thought by thought, step by step, because your brain believes what you tell it. So say this every day, and never stop becoming